When I left fundamentalist Christian churches, I realized that churches teach people that queer individuals are an abomination. Now, I'm going to stop the people who are going to write in the comments, not every denomination believes queer people are an abomination. That's true. That is true. But I'm not talking about those denominations. I'm talking about the biggest denominations that support Trump and are very white privileged. The Baptists, the fundamentalists, the Calvinists, the big denominations. The ones that view anyone who differs on 3 little theology facts as a threat. I mean, I have never heard any Baptists in the 7 churches I've been in say anything positive about Lutherans or Amish. My family thinks Amish people are going to hell because they don't believe in the fundamentalist Christian ideology. That's, that's the whole dynamic there. And it's so damaging. Instead of accepting that, everyone's going to believe differently and some people aren't going to give a crap. They're just going to live their life and there's no God and that's fine. There are other people that will kill each other or damage relationships and partnerships because somebody believes differently. And it's damaging. You can't agree to disagree. Not in my family. Not in any of the churches I grew up in. You're either with us or you're a threat. And we deserve better. We deserve communities that accept differences. And it's so damaging to teach young people and older people that just because you don't want a traditional family or your family, the present or the future family you want, isn't heterosexual or looks like a Norman Rockwell painting. A good family, a prosperous and effectual family isn't one that has a mommy and a daddy. It's when you have at least 1 or 2 parents that want you, love you, and get you ready to be a fully functioning adult without traumatizing you. And there's just something about heterosexual parents. You don't get to be a better parent because you're cis heterosexual. Yeah, there are more cis heterosexual parents in the world because there's just more straight people. But that doesn't mean that heterosexual people make good parents. If that were true, Ruby Frankie would be a good parent, or Casey Anthony. Okay? Assuming that someone's going to be a good parent or fit to be a good wife or mother isn't because you're cis and heterosexual. Is because you're a decent human being who actually wants to bring life into the world for unselfish reasons. And there's just something about heterosexuals. They cannot consistently fathom that a family is going to look different. Yeah, there are people who are not white on this planet. There are people who are not straight. There are women who don't want families. There are men who want to focus on their careers instead of having kids. There's something wrong with that. When the church starts making it weird or teaches that finding a different kind of person attractive that they can't control, that's just the way their brain is wired, is wrong. Because the idea of biblical marriage and heterosexuality, it's all about male privilege. That's why men of power have always supported 1 man and 1 woman getting married and 1 man and 1 woman having children together. Because it protects and solidifies a man's privilege. if there are multiple genders in the world, if there are different ways to raise a family, if there are different types of families out there, then men of privilege, especially white men, have lost their monopoly. Men of privilege supporting biblical marriage that does not exist, because biblical marriage is polygamy. But these men, these women, have to support the one man, one woman family routine. So men of privilege can maintain their privilege. Because if there are more than two genders, two orientations, one way to have a family, people of privilege lose their privilege. And it's all about privilege. It's not about what's good for the child. It's not about protecting kids and giving them the best life. It's all about heterosexual privilege. Luckily now, everyone who wants to get married in North America can get married. That's not the case everywhere, which I feel bad about that. Hopefully, in the next 50 years, every country where it's illegal makes it legal. We can only hope, can't we? We can always take steps to push for that new way of life. And there's just something about religion that sees anything that isn't heterosexual as a threat. It's not a threat. It's always existed. It's not something new. It's a threat to straight privilege. That's all it is. Even though it's not a threat, privileged people see it as a threat because they don't want to lose their privilege. And churches buy into this privilege, protect it, defend it, and support it, just like they support slavery.